Hi there, Tripp and Rex. That's right, Rex Hoggard, that's who he is. I'm Tripp Isenhour, and we are here talking about that guy, the Big Easy, down under, President's Cup. What a captain. I know he lost, but I thought, did a fantastic job. Left no stone unturned. And with a team that really was a major underdog, had them with a real shot to win. The U.S. had to play some amazing golf on Sunday to win that President's Cup. Now, he said, not going to do it again. I'm done. If I'm in charge of the international team, I want him to do it again, but what do you think about that?
If I'm Jay Monahan, I'm making another run at him. I'm giving him some space. I'm letting him think it through and sort of unwind a little bit. But before you name a next captain that isn't named Ernie Els, you give him some time, because what he did over that 2-year period, it was revolutionary, really. When you talk to the players on the team, I mean, Adam Scott, who has been a staple on this team for so long, he was excited going into this year's matches, as opposed to just a few years ago when he told me he was thinking about not doing it anymore. Because it's hard showing up every 2 years and getting beat and going home with your tail between your legs and having nothing to show for it. But this year, Ernie made a difference, and you're absolutely right. If you looked at those two teams on paper, the international side had no business even making that a game. And all you have to do is go back 4 years to New Jersey. The United States could have closed that match out on Saturday. And that would have been awful for everybody involved. I mean, even the United States doesn't want to do that because that's not good for the match. And for Ernie to turn that around and to really change everything about it, but really change the culture, give him some time. I'd really like to see Ernie have one more opportunity to think to himself, I think I can make a difference. And I think he can do that. I mean, Ernie has been very specific, just like Nick Price before him, just like Greg Norman before him, about some changes they feel like need to be made to the system. And Jay probably needs to meet him a little bit more.
Agree.
To entice him to come back, to make it more competitive.
And one of the changes is I think they've got to get to 28 points.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the move, what Nick Price did a couple of years ago has made it competitive, other than Liberty, where they could have closed it out. The two of the last three have come down to the last day in exciting golf, the one in Korea and the one in Australia. The last two international President's Cups have been, they've been intriguing, because it was, what was it, 36 or 34, and they've got it down to 30. They got rid of 2 matches. So it was 34, they made it 30. I think they got to make it 28. Because what does that do? When it's 28 points, that helps a team that isn't as deep and isn't as strong.
You can hide your weaker players.
Look at the Ryder Cup. I mean, there are players historically at the Ryder Cup have not seen action till Sunday. And I also don't like, one of the other changes I would say is you don't have to play every match. I mean, a player has to play one match.
Well, I get that, and I understand where they were coming from.
Before singles, every player has to have played at least one match. That's a rule at the President's Cup.
Yes, and I see what you're saying. And in the other half, and Ernie touched on this in his post-match interview, and he talked about the need of maybe creating a different entity altogether that handles the international team. And I agree with that entirely. I mean, when you look at the Ryder Cup, and let's face it, that's the litmus test. That's where we're going to say this works. You have the European Tour and the PGA of America. Those are the two bodies essentially that run those two different teams. They're going to have competing interest, and they're separate. There aren't any issues. There aren't any controversies within the same house. In this particular case, it's the PGA Tour, and it seems like they're always battling against each other about what may be best for the matches as opposed to what's best for a particular team. If you put the international team, whoever that is, whatever body you make that's going to govern and decide what the rules are, I think that would go a long way as well.
Yeah, it would. But I agree with you. I think Ernie will. They're going to make a run at him again. But
because who's next? Retief?
Retief, yeah.
I mean, I don't think VJ is going to be on the short list, if I'm being honest.
VJ will not be on the short list. VJ will not be a President's Cup.
I think Jeff Ogilvy eventually gets one.
Ogilvy for sure. I think Mike Weir gets one.
Mike Weir probably gets one. Adam Scott gets one. So there are some candidates going down the road. I don't think any of those players, maybe Mike, is quite at that age where you have to get him into the rotation right now. I think if you gave Ernie one more chance, we would be surprised what he could do.
Yeah. And again, I think if it's not Ernie, it's another South African, though. And I think what you said is Retief. I think it clearly is. But all in all, the President's Cup, like I said, 2 of the last 3 have been exciting. He was a great captain. I'd love to see him do it again. And again, the President's Cup is never going to quite be the Ryder Cup, but at least the changes that we talked about hopefully would be implemented and help it along that way.
I think so, and I think just look at the rebranding that he did to the entire team, and he just injected it with new life. And I'm not saying that Retief or anyone else can't do that. I just think he deserves a second chance.
Yeah, well, we deserve a second. No, we don't deserve a second chance. He's Rex. I'm Tripp. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.